Hey, what's up? It's DJ. Today we've got some Christmas Eve mods for you. In total, 39 mods released. All platforms got 36 new and 1 update, including my old house, and PC and Mac players also got 2 new. If you guys like staying updated with all the latest mods in Farming Simulator, make sure you are subscribed. And let's check out these Christmas Eve mods. Let's start off with some returning things from Giant Software. The first one is the CLAAS AXION 960-930 TERRA TRAC. Yes, it is back. Finally, we get some CLAAS stuff. We were missing a few things. We've got engine options from 355 all the way up to 455 horsepower. Air wheel options from Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Midas, BKT, Evodisc-K, and we also have Nokian tires as well. Now, most of those are just going to be a standard or a wide tire, so heads up there. As far as everything else, variable transmission, 867 liters of fuel, 24 miles an hour, 16.2 tons. Now, if you don't want tracks on it, well, to go with this one. This is the CLAAS AXION 960-920 non-TERRA TRAC version. 325 horsepower all the way up to 445. Variable transmission, 640 liters fuel, 31 miles an hour, 13.4 tons. Wheel brands are less as well. Trelleborg, Michelin, BKT. That's it. However, we do have some pretty cool stuff in here, so if you want to go through, find the ones that you like, you are good to go. I was kind of looking for some narrow twins, but looks like those are not on the menu. Next up, another returner from Giant Software, the Deutz-Fahr Series 6 TTV. On here, we do have the Warrior setup, if you want to go with it. I do, because it unlocks colors. We also have engine options from 156 all the way up to 183 horsepower. Wheel options from Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Midas, BKT, Evodisc-K, and Nokian tires. We also have quite a few different wheel setups, including those narrow twin wheels. Love them. We also have a front loader attacher from Quickie, Hawe, or Nana. Design colors, of course, we start off with a couple custom colors. We have 5 of them in total. However, you can change them up if you want to anything that you would like. And then we have 2 colors that are meant to go with this. However, again, with the color mod, you can do whatever you want. Keeping it going with mods from Giants, we have the Horsch Pronto pack. And here we have a 3 meter as well as a 6 meter seeder. Uh-oh. Somebody's game just crashed. That's fun. Well, let's try this again. Please don't crash my game again. Hey, all right. So we can have that. Now, the Seeds 4000, we also have a setup for seeds and fertilizer, which is nice. Also, big shout out to Giants for actually posting what the capacities are there. That's awesome. So let's talk about both of them. In the smaller 3 meter version, we have 2,800 and 4,000 liters of seed. Wheel options from standard. We also have the small tire roller. The tire roller, and back to standard again. Ridge markers, yes and no. Glad we have the option for those. Now, this is the 3 meter. It is 150 horsepower required at 11 miles per hour. Also, it would do seeds only, and it will do all of your standard seeds down here. Was that 8 crops now? 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ha ha! I can count. Oh, come on. Crashed again? So I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news is it will load in. The game is not actually crashing. However, it takes like 15 seconds, 20 seconds, somewhere around there to load in. So kick it in, be patient. It may not be doing this on console. I'm on PC. I'm using the Steam version of the game, and it's doing it to me. Nonetheless, we'll talk about the options here, since this has put me back like 10 minutes. I've tried. Been on the chat with Giants about it. Nonetheless, 4,000 liters of seed, 4,400 liters of seeds, 5,000 liters of seeds, 5,400 liters of seeds, and then you have 2,000 seeds, 3,000 fertilizer, 2,400 seeds, 3,000 fertilizer, and then we're back down to it. Tire rollers, we have a yes and a no setup there. Row control, yes and no. That's around towards the very back. And then we've got ridge markers of yes and no, which is very nice. As far as the options here, weighs 10 tons, 200 horsepower is required, 6 meters at 12 miles per hour. I imagine this will probably become a very popular mod, assuming that it'll load for you each time. Next up, we have the BEDNAR Combo System CS5000. Now, this was released with the premium DLC a year ago for the Zielonka DLC and FS22. However, these are back. It includes your seeder, and we have a subsoiler on there as well. The main unit right here holds seeds and fertilizer. 5,000 liters of them, and you've got wheel options from Trelleborg, Michelin, BKT, Evodisc-K, and back in. You can also throw some additional weight on there if you need it. Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't, just depends. Then you have your seeder unit right here itself, 9 meters at 9 miles per hour, 225 extra horsepower is required for this bad boy right now. And then you've got your subsoiler right here. And then you have the fertilizer distribution unit of yes and no. Now, if you're using the seeder, it doesn't use fertilizer. However, if you're using your subsoiler, then it does use fertilizer. So just heads up there. It's not very big though, only 3 meters. Another returner is the Agrio Mamut XL. This is your sprayer, liquid fertilizer and herbicide, and liquid lime if you have that mod installed. Working widths of 27 meters all the way up to 36 meters with 33 and 30 in between. It holds 8,000 liters, which is a very, very large, 5.5 tons, and then 7 mile per hour working speed. Wheel brands from Trelleborg. We also have Michelin, Continental, BKT, Evodisc-K, Midas, which is very cool, and back. And we also have standard or medium and narrow and wide tires for those. And our last new one from Giants today is the Hawe ULW 4000. This will hold 4,300 liters of all of your standard auger wagon crops, which is great news. We have wheel options from Trelleborg, Michelin, BKT, Evodisc-K, and back in. We can change up a few of those, so check those out. Again, 43,000 liters, weighs 11.3 tons, and it is recommended to have 350 horsepower. It is PTO driven. Now we get into the non-Giants mods. First is the Axial-Flow X150 series. This is from Waffle. It has got some pretty cool stuff. So we have the 5150, the 6150, 71, and back down. The 5150 is one of my favorites, so that is awesome to see that in there. Wheel brands, we have Trelleborg, Michelin, Continental, Evodisc-K, BKT, and back in. Some of these you could change up, like, for example, in Trelleborg, we have crawler track, or you can do wheel setups. However, those are in different places. And then Michelin, you've got your twin wheels. Continental, you've got your twin wheels as well. Evodisc-K, BKT. So Trelleborg is the only one that is going to have the track setup, but it does have it, so that's cool. Logo on here, yes and no. Don't know what that means, but hey, it's there if you want it. Attention back warnings, or warning back. We've got that, and then the wheat decal on there, which is kind of cool. And then we have colors for the seat, so you can actually change up the seat. We got a couple other materials, things like that, although if you were feeling fancy, you could go and change that up if you want. We also have an interior color, so you can change that up to bright red if you want. A little bit too much red for my taste. And then we have rim colors as well, which can be changed up. Now, this is not going to be changing up the track, so heads up through there. If you want to change those up, you will have to switch over to wheels. Bam! There you go. That's a pretty cool setup, man. I love this. It does not come with a header, so you will need to use some of the other ones. Now, here's a fun one that I was not expecting to see yet. This is the Seed Hawk pack for BC Bueller and Forward Agriculture. In here, we have a couple different setups. You've also got the air cart itself, as well as the 65-foot, 19.8 meter drill. Oh, I'm so excited. So let's talk about it. So we start off with 21,800 liters. That's going to be seed and solid fertilizer. Doesn't say what those are, so we will find that out. Wheel brands, we have the Elmer's Manufacturing. You've also got a Lizard setup, Michelin, BKT, Trelleborg, Midas, and then back in. You've also got the design for the Seed Hawk as well as Evodisc-K, which is really neat to see. And then the system. So we have the toe between and the toe behind. As you can see, a couple things kind of change up here. If you go with toe behind, that means that your cart is going to be behind the drill. So all of the connections move to the front. If you go toe between, that means that your drill is going to be behind the air cart. So all of your connections move to the back. And the fill system, we have no conveyor or a conveyor setup. Additionally, we have things that are going to be mirrored right here for the toolbar, the 65-footer. So wheel options from Trelleborg. We also have the Lizard, Michelin, Continental, and then Midas. Oh, these are around towards the back. I'm an idiot, not even paying attention. So you got a couple different setups through there, and we even have duals if you want them. Design, Seed Hawk, or Evodisc-K. I like the Evodisc-K. I think it looks cool, but hey, you can choose whatever you want. Also, the wheel options. Looks like the wheel colors change a little bit through there, which is nice. And then you've got the toe between or the toe behind. So this is still going to mirror the air drill, or the this thing, cart. So both of them will be set to the same thing. If you see toe between here, you see the connections are on the front, not the back. So this is in reference to the cart. So heads up there. Go with toe behind. That means that your cart's behind the drill. Make sense? All right. 450 horsepower is recommended for this setup, so big heads up through there. Also, I prefer the toe behind setup on pretty much everything. I kind of blame the big seed hawk that we had in the Big Bud DLC in FS17. I kind of blame that for that a little bit because it's just been so much easier. Plus, you can control the seeder a little bit better. Now, here is our setup. Pretty cool, if I must say so myself. We've got our big K715 at the front, and we're good to go. So let's take a look at seeds, and that just makes it easier for us when we've got this done. Now, you can click the open cover, and it is going to open up all of the covers. It's also going to kick out your auger if you have that installed. And then once we've got that, basically have the open next cover button. So we can click that, and it'll jump over, and we can click it one more time, and it's going to go to the back. So as you can see, we have 3 different compartments. So we're going to take a look at those. We have 5,600, 5,600, and 10,600. The front tank is going to be seeds or solid fertilizer, which is great. Second tank is seeds and solid fertilizer. And your third tank, the largest one, seeds or solid fertilizer. So I guess technically you could fill this whole thing up with solid fertilizer and be good to go. But yeah, you know what? That's really cool that you could set that up however you want. Some people prefer to only run seeds and use fertilizer spreaders like myself. So I'm curious to see if this will do the job and not get mad that there's no fertilizer in it. So I'm just a little bit curious about that. Of course, just like with everything in here, we can see the working width is picked out and knows exactly what to do. We click OK, and it wants us to line up right here, which is good. But I want to see if the AI worker will do this. We're going to work the headlands. We're going to start with the headlands, and we're going to set him on and see if he will do it. And it looks like the answer is yes. So he doesn't get mad or frustrated when there is no fertilizer in there. This is good news. It's also not going down. Oh, I probably have helper buy seed and fertilizer turned on, don't I? I never have this stuff turned on. Why is that on? Now let's see how they do. Let's turn that on. There they go. And they're still doing it. Okay, perfect. So as you can see there, that's kind of where I started up. No fertilizers going into the ground, but it is doing it. So no matter if you got seeds, fertilizer, you're good to go. This would have been the only question that I would have for this piece of equipment. So hopefully this answers this if it was a question for you guys as well. Pretty nimble, moves around. Hey, I dig it. Moving along, we have the Massey Ferguson FL series from AMG Gaming. This was something that I showed off in a short a few weeks ago, but hey, it is here now. This right here, we've got 2 models. You have an FL 4121, which is mainly made for the Massey 5700, and then you've got a quickie version here as well, which if we click that, again, made for the Massey Ferguson. Taking a look in here at your different little specs, we have a couple different models and a couple different visuals on there. We have guide pole, hydraulic connections, and loader lights, and then we also have color options here as well, whether those be black, whether they be red, orange, whatever you want. You can change up a few things if you like, and you're good to go. Hey, love it. And then as far as the quickie setup, we have the 5S, the 5M, which is nice because the base game gives us the 4 and the 6. So this is kind of right smack dab in the middle. Even if you don't want to use the Massey Ferguson, you still get this quickie, so you can use it with other things as well. I like this because it's just the perfect spot between. I found sometimes the 6 is a little too large and the 4 is a little bit too small. So having this option makes things nice. So there's the 4, there's the 6, and it fits right smack dab in the middle of these. Next, we have the Seppi Maxisoil 350. This is from Black Eyes Modding, which I didn't even know they were making stuff anymore. In here, we've got with or without the roller setup. This is a forestry mulcher. Hooks up via a 3-point and can be used on your tractors. Now, I do recommend something big as it requires 350 horsepower. It's got a 3.5 meter working width and will run at 4 miles per hour. Again, forestry mulchers, removing stumps, bushes, things like that. Here's a cool one. I didn't know if we were going to see this or not, or maybe if it was just something that was being used by Bruno, but University of Modding has released it. The Sopema fertilizer trailer. What this does is it hooks up to a fertilizer spreader. So the fertilizer spreader is going to be on the back, and then what it'll do is it'll dump into that fertilizer spreader, which is kind of neat. So it'll hold all kinds of crops. So you can actually use this as a trailer on your farm, 8,500 liters. You can change up wheels between a couple different things, and we have some inverted sets there too. Just because I've been dying to use more CLAAS tractors, I'm gonna go for the AXION here to show it to you guys. So simply back up, hook up to this new Sopema fertilizer trailer, and then hook up to your fertilizer spreader like so. It did not hook up. Oh, I wasn't far enough back, and my microphone was covering the text on the screen. Sorry about that. All right, so with this now, we need to open the cover. So we can do that. There you go. And then once we fill this up with solid fertilizer, come on, be a lot easier if I didn't cheat. And then all we have to do is click dump, and it will actually dump and fill up that fertilizer spreader. And so now we can just get out, fertilize, spread. It's doing it. It's, you just can't see it for some reason. I'm not in a field, so it's technically not doing anything. And then we could just run around and fertilize. And then whenever it's empty per se, there we go. Now you can select this again and dump fertilizer back in there. This allows you to stay out in the field longer, and it's super duper helpful on consoles because you can utilize this with lime or solid fertilizer. Next up, we have the Krampe Big Body 750 from Hans. In here, 25,300 liter capacity, bulk crop. We have wheel options from Trelleborg, Michelin, PKT, Evodisc-K, Midas, and back in. So quite a few different options there. I'm gonna go with Midas. I think it looks super cool. On here, window. Yes, plastic plate, metal plate, or new. Platform. We've got a yes for the platform at the front. Ladder. You have the ladder holder, and then you can actually put the ladder on there, or an extended ladder, which you're going to need if you go with some capacity options. So you have standard, then we have the extension, which is going to be 35,200 liters. You can also do 38,500 liters, and then you've got the sugar beet extension. So this can run for sugar beets, 25,300 liters, which is exactly the same as the trailer itself. It just kind of looks cool on the side. Trough color, we can change this up, and then chassis color, we can change that up as well, and even rim colors. And great job there with the chassis option. It also changes up the hubs, which is what it should do. Next up, we have the return of another mod, the Sledge. Though this can be hooked up to a tractor, and you can be pulled around, which is very, very neat. It's also got trailer hitch or car hitch. Thank you for putting that. We shouldn't have to do that now, but hey, I guess we had to. Let's go with car hitch. Let's get ourselves 2 of these, not 1, but 2. And speaking of car, where's car? I can never remember where anything is anymore. Let's go for a ride on the back of the Kubota. And then there you can see we've got a couple different setups where we can set all them, which is fun. Hopefully this is a car hitch. I haven't actually checked any of that. So there we go, we've got that. And then let's grab this one. Doesn't look like we could pick them up, but a little super strength never hurt anybody. See if I can kick that back out forwards. This is quite difficult. Oh. So when you pick that up, it just picks up the body. Well, looks like we're taking one today, I guess. It's kicked off to the left a little bit. I'm trying to see, can we move that any? Fasten tension belts. Nope, that's not it. No unload here, etc. So I'm not quite sure. It kind of hangs on and wants to go straight. I mean, yeah, there you go. It's a little bit unpredictable, but hey, it works. This is a super cool piece of equipment and something extremely useful, especially for players who do everything by themselves. This is the Snüfelstück or Snüfelstück. I don't know what the 2 dots mean. What I do know is that this is awesome. So it hooks up via a hitch, and on the back we have other hitches. It's a dolly, but does way more than just that. In here, of course, wheel brands. You have Trelleborg, Michelin, BKT, Evodisc-K, enough to make anybody happy. You've also got some smaller tires, which is nice to see. Beacon light options, you have a couple different setups for that, which is really cool. I like the LEDs or originals. Frame length, we have long or a short setup, depending on what you're using it for. And then you've got colors. However, this thing can do some pretty cool stuff. These are the options right here that the modder has presented, MTL modding team. As you can see, it's hooked up behind a combine harvester, and then you've got a baler hooked up behind that, allowing you to bale and run combine at the same time. Here's another look at that. You can also use it for running a forage harvester. Forgot what this thing was called there for a second. You can also use it for that if you want. Here's another look there. And then there it is in transport mode. You can even run it with the mower. How cool is that? Because certain hitches don't want to hook up to things anymore, a hitch just isn't a hitch anymore, even though you could do this in real life and modify your hitch. Nonetheless, this is basically modifying the hitch. It also has that fifth wheel on there, so you can pull any type of semi-truck as well, or semi-trailer rather. That's a cool setup. But this is only the beginning. I'm sure people like Driver 53 and a lot of you guys out there who are extremely creative will find other ways to use this. Next up, we have the Lizard MKS8 Plus. Ooh. What does the plus mean? Well, let's see if we can figure it out. We have beacon lights on here, yes or no. Trailer hitch on the back, yes or no. And then color options. So what does the plus mean? Well, it'll hold normal liquids. You know, here we've got your milks. We've also got water, liquid fertilizer, and herbicide, and it holds 8,000 liters of them. So it's probably not as plus as you would want it to be. Maybe wanting to hold other things as well, but this is it. Next up, we have the Düvelsdorf MSS3X00. These are a couple sets of silage levelers. So we have a 3.7 meter version and a 3 meter version. Colors on both. And it looks like we're going to have 3-point hitches on both as well. Our next mod's not going to be found here, but it's actually going to be found in here in chainsaws. If I can find where that is. There we go. Hand tools. The axe. This is going to be an axe that you can cut trees down with. So then let's give it a try. We've got our axe here, and we've got a tree, and it just kind of goes through like a chainsaw. So no knocking sounds or anything like that. But it does cut, which is kind of nice. Check that out. Boop, straight through across. It does have like a sound at the very end, but that's about it. This is mine now. Next up, let's talk about some Ozdoken mods. And these are all from KRKZ. We've got a plethora of them. So let's just start right off with the Evodisc-K pack. This includes 2 different disc harrows. One of them has a set of wheels on the back, making things a little bit easier. You do have setups for Trelleborg, Verdistan, Midas, BKT wheels, and then you could change up the color of the frame, which is really nice. However, over here on the normal version, the K600, you cannot change anything. Likewise, we've got another setup of disc harrows. This is the Ozdoken Evodisc pack. So the other one was the Evodisc-K. This is just the regular. These are a little bit smaller, 4.5 meter working width. If I'm honest, all of these could be in the same pack. And I feel like most of the time they would have to be anyway, however, not in this case. Wheel brands, same thing here, 165 horsepower, 4.5 meter work width at 12 miles an hour. Then we've got subsoilers, the Boltan pack. We do have a main color setup here, which you could change up. A bit of a frame, I don't know, not that it matters or anything, but hey, it's there. And then you can change up a few of the smaller bits. In here you have 2.3, 3.2, or 4.1 meter working with subsoilers, all with the same color options. There's also a weeder, the Rotokul 620, as you would guess, 6.2 meter working with, 85 horsepower, 12 miles per hour. Wheel options from TRAC. We can also go BKT. Design, we do have warning signs around towards the back or nada, and then we've got some color options. And lastly, we have a roller to match up the Ozdoken RC 950. Fenders, you can do yes or no, Midas and Trelleborg, as well as BKT tires. And we do have the warning signs along towards the back. With this roller, it's a 9.5 meter working width, 100 horsepower, 12 mile per hour. If you need some new slurry distributors, well, Vertex Designs got you with the Evers Toric. 6 meters, 9 miles per hour, 80 horsepower is required for this, and it hooks up to the back of your slurry tankers. It is a cultivator, so it'll cultivate and it will fertilize all at the same time. The next mod we're going to talk about holds a special place in my heart because this is based on the house that I used to live in. Back when I used to live in Boone, North Carolina in the mountains, this was my house. Now, I draw floor plans as a hobby. I think it's fun. Put them in Minecraft or The Sims, something like that. I prefer to do it that way versus just trying to build in the game. Well, I spoke with Almatana about this, and she wanted to do something really neat and take a floor plan that I'd done and put it into the game for her American farmhouse. Well, I said, well, how's about my old house? And so she put it in here. Both houses are going to be the same. The only difference is going to be one has a vaulted roof and one has dormers. Additionally, both are available with or without a garage. So we'll take a look at the garage setup. Now, this is kind of creepy because this is my old house. The furniture and things like that is not, well, kind of where I put it. That's where I had my stuff in the living room. However, some of the things are a little bit different just to make it work better for Farming Simulator. That way it wasn't like, all the way in and out. Also, there's a couple places that don't have collisions, just in case you wanted to open up a few things. Also, in my real house, this was a closet, not a bathroom, but it's because the master was actually here, right out the kitchen. This was the master bedroom, and there was a bathroom off to it, and then this was not a hallway, but a closet. Regardless, Omatana said that this would work better in the game, and I was totally cool with it. But there was a door right here. This was my laundry room, though. So a few things have been changed up just so it works for Farming Simulator. But the room, the two bedrooms at the very end of the hallway were not the master's, but this was my bedroom. All my computers were in the master bedroom because it was bigger. And here we've got everything we need. All the windows are in the same places. The kitchen's exactly the same. It's just so cool. And if you want a version over here with the garage, well, you can do that. I did not have a garage up here. There was actually a hill that went down towards the side of the house. So there was a little patio here. And then around this way at the bottom of the house was where the garage was. So can't really do that in Farming Simulator without causing some trouble and making people mad about having to landscape. So she did this, which is really cool. You can find all of these in here in your farmhouses. So if we draw all the way down to that, you can see we've got the version right here with the dormers. We've got the vault up top, and then we've got the same setup for the houses over there. We also have color options for all of these too, so you can choose whichever color you want. If you want a blue one, hey, go with a blue one. This is the color that the house was, so that is the default. However, she's also got the red here too. Well, I put the red in there. Thought the red looked really cool. Around towards the back of the house, I didn't have this because unfortunately there was a 2-story drop at the back of the house. But in here, she's actually added this little patio out back. It's cool. So we now have a house that you can walk in. I will reiterate that I think all house models in Farming Simulator should be able to be entered. There's no point to have it other than a sleep trigger, which you could just put a little sleep trigger down on the ground and sleep there. I think the way that it's done normally in Farming Simulator is a bit waste of time and, well, kind of cheap. This though, this is awesome. Next up, we have the 3 Stars Garage from ICAS. So yet another shed from ICAS. Actually, you put this on the same farm as that farmhouse, it'll look pretty good over there with it. We've got 3 bays on here, one with a massive door, like combine harvesters, things like that. And then you've got 2 smaller ones for tractors, implements, things like that. We also have an awesome workshop area over here. And as long as your vehicle's in here, you can work on it. Around towards the outside, over through here, you've got another entry in there, and then an entry into the office. Running around the outside, there's nothing on the back. And then we have a nice overhang here on the side, maybe for a semi-trailer or something like that. You can also do a few things with this. If we go in and select, check colors, list, and then maybe we'll just go with pink here, select that. You can see it changes up a lot of stuff. So it changes up pretty much everything except for the skirt around the bottom, which is a dark red, and the doors and windows. Otherwise, everything else changes. I would kind of prefer if the roof stayed the same color and then the sides changed, but hey, I can't always win them all, okay? Nonetheless, this is super awesome. Super excited to see this in the game. The next one is absolutely massive, and I ended up having a hard time finding a way to place this on land that I owned because the base game doesn't allow you to own everything. Kind of difficult. Nonetheless, let's go around and take a look at this. The Cow Barn XL. This is from FSG Modding. FSG Tasman. It is a big, big place. If you do not expand the animal pasture, which I have not, it holds 267 cattle, 400,000 liters of food, 200,000 liters of straw, 400,000 liters of slurry. So there you go with all of that. This is kind of the way everything is working out. We do have ways to open here, and we can do that. So very neat. Coming around over towards the inside, this is where all of your food and straw and bales, things like that are going to go. And we've got another trigger at the very end. Now looking around this, I'm going to try and find a couple other triggers here. So we do have slurry. That one's easy to find. If we open up, is that not a door? Oh, that was the door. I'm the idiot. Got it. Around towards the inside, it looks like we have our milk right there. Nope. No, there is no milk trigger in here. Oh, well, I guess you'll have to put down a milk extension then, won't you? Although they do say, even though it's not showing up at the bottom right-hand corner here, they do say on the website that it has a milk storage capacity of 200,000 liters as well as the buffalo milk storage. So I guess once they go in here, you'll be good to go. I will say this is extremely large, so make sure that you kind of plan out where you're going to put this. We've also got color options here too, so if we go in here, maybe change this up to blue, we can change that up if you want. And yes, you can also build the meadow grass, although I did not. We've also got another one, the open front cowshed. This is a capacity of 35 head of cattle. Price is going to be $70,000, and there you go. All your food and stuff towards the front, and then taking a look at storages. Food 33,750 liters, and straw is 21,375 liters. Speaking of straw, we do have a place up top. If you can get stuff up there, go for it. Otherwise, there's really not a lot else going on with this. Next up, we have our large shed for machines from Ozdoken. Pretty cool place. Dig the ground. I think that looks awesome. Open it up the doors. I love the sounds on there. Very nice. Speed's not too fast, but it's not too slow either. And you can open them up, what looks to be from the outside and the inside. That makes things super duper easy. They've done a good job to avoid any collisions right here with these doors. And when you're ready to close them back, just go up to the area where the door was, not where the door is. Boom. Just like that. Looks good. Next is a cool one, and one of them's floating, but for a reason. This is the Old Structure Pack. It is a scrap canopy pack to add on to other buildings. As you can see, we've got kind of a real high, large one. We've got a little bit of a shorter one, but we can still walk under, and an even shorter one that you can walk under. Now, they show it off on our main farm building right over here. Hey, there's that log that I dropped. So they kind of show it off like this. Let's see if we can turn off the accidental overlap here. See if we can get it lined up just right. Even though I'm not going to, let's be honest. Boom. I mean, doesn't look terrible. I've done worse. I've done way worse. And then we've got other stuff too. Now, I'm not sure if I would put that there because that just makes the barn look silly. But you could do that. You can also maybe take two of these and build a little barn with them. So let's see if we can try that. Spin them around. There you go. And then try and line this up as best we can. I mean, don't look bad. It's pretty cool. And line it up almost perfect too. Hey, there you go. Next up, we have our small workshop. Pretty cheap here, only $20,000. I do dig this. I think this looks awesome. It's also definitely kind of like reminiscent of maybe something that would be on my grandfather's old farm, where we had a building where he kind of worked on stuff, but most stuff wouldn't fit inside. So we never really pulled anything inside. We just kind of pulled it in front of the driveway and worked on it. This kind of reminds me of that a little bit. I don't know. Pretty cool. Next up is our small garage. We do have a small garage. There's also a version of this with the workshop as well. We're going to place that one down together. This is the version without the workshop. So nothing too wild and crazy. You can also change the color of this if you wanted to. So if we go in, we do have Horman colors, but you can change it up. Then if we jump over to tools, swing down, and we place one of these down, this has a workshop in it. So we open that up, and there you go. Big old workshop. I would probably recommend getting the one with the workshop over the one without it, but hey, maybe you can get one of both. Next is the Sawmill. This one's found in productions. It's from Camilos 0397. It's only going to cost you $50,000, which is very, very nice. Of course, we've got place for wood chips and inputs, things like that. You cannot go inside, so there is that. But we do have this over here where we can see what we do. So wood planks long, wood planks, and wood beam. And output, again, we get those wood chips. So you're not only getting the wood in, you're not only getting the planks long, and wood beams, but you're also getting wood chips. Very small amount, if I'm honest. But I would expect it to be very small. But here, you can get those wood chips out. And guess what? Wood chips sell for some good money. Next up are our slurry storage packs. So you've got the 3-layer and you've also got the 4-layer as well. If we go in here and take a look, you've got your 4-layer there and the 3-layer. 540,000 liters versus 730,000 liters, which is wild to me. Anyway, nonetheless, there's really not a lot going on here. They're just silos at the end of the day. I don't think you can connect these to animal pens or BGAs or anything like that because they're not production, so they have no way of knowing what's coming in or out other than these triggers right here. Very cool. Hey, I like these. Next to last new ones today for all platforms, you've got the old farm package. In here we have 2 sheds and 2 hoses. So in through here, very nice shed here. We've also got a completely open shed. Wood looks nice. Coming around towards the side, we have 2 different houses. Now, if you thought you could enter, good luck. Also, your forehead's facing the top of the door, so not really done up to scale, but I wouldn't have expected it anyway, if I'm honest. I don't know why they can do sheds that have doors opening, but they can't do houses that have doors opening. Nonetheless, there are doors that open. However, it's not for what you would expect it to be. It is a shed. So you've got these doors that open up as a shed. We also have doors on the sides that do not open. A little bit of a hay loft up there and over the side through there. And again, doors that do not open, but this one does. Now, if we swing around towards over here, there's a different setup for things. If only I could get that door to open. It was not. And nor was that. Am I doing something wrong? I don't know what I'm doing, man. I'm going crazy, dude. I don't understand. Is there a help window that helps me? Please help me. No. All right. I don't know if that's supposed to open or not, but it's not opening, and there's no windows. So I don't understand what the point is here. Our last new ones today for all platforms can actually be found back in the mod up again. This is the German traffic safety sign, safety pack. And in here, we have a couple different sets. So we've got big stop signs right here. We've also got speed limit, no parking signs, detour, other traffic signs. You also have a planning board, which is kind of neat. Variable traffic sign, which is super awesome. Lights up, as you can tell through there. And you can change up the kilometer per hour setup too. So that's awesome. You've even got a traffic cone, folding signal, safety beacon, and barrier fencing. So if you were looking for some traffic warning stuff, things like that, very, very cool. We don't have any German maps yet. However, hopefully soon, maybe you'll have something where you can put these on where they'll look right at home. We've got a really nice update today for Natural Waters, Rivers, and Ponds Pack. This is going to be version 101. The color of the water has been slightly adjusted to improve the visibility of the water reflections on consoles. That's great news. Additionally, the water planes now contain the new water dynamics. So the stuff that came out in version 1.3 has now been adjusted and changed. Was it 1.3, 1.4? One of those two. Nonetheless, this is even better now. Lastly, let's talk about new ones for PC and Mac players. The first one is going to be the Bell Spike with 3 spikes. And only 3 spikes. No more! This can be used with a front loader or a telehandler. Weighs 100 kilograms, which is pretty cool. And then we've got colors. So you've got your main color, which is going to be the frame, and the design color, which is going to be the tines. And lastly, we have the S Agriline weight pack. This includes 3 different weights. You've got 400, 600, and 1100. The prices do not follow this, but we get some pretty neat stuff. So check this out. I don't know what Warnstreifen is, but we do have that. No translations on that, so it'd be cool to see an update with translations properly there. You've also got a few things here as well. This also has a front 3-point mounted. No PTO or anything like that, but I'm sure hydraulics could run over, which is nice. Probably what I'm assuming those little hooks on the sides are for. And then lastly, we've got this guy. Again, no translations whatsoever, but we can throw a 3-point on the front, and then you've got your warning signs. And that is it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like, get subscribed if you're new, and join the DjGoHam fam. Double check your notifications. That way you never miss future videos right here. I hope you and your family and friends have a very Merry Christmas. Much love from me and my family. Have a good one, and I'll catch you in the next one.